So that was all our spoilers. Well, it's a good time to wrap up for the night.
Yeah, I'm just getting my note up. Okay, so I don't know if you have any ideas that you want to do.
I do have one,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not sure you saw it before. I was mentioning doing it. I wanted to try and do like a the tribal druid deck. Sorry, I said bard. The tribal druid deck.
Okay.
The Krosan protector, tap it on tap druid you control to head green.
Oh, you want to use the Krosan protector?
Yeah,
Okay.
because there's a lot of cool druids that don't tap for mana.
Wait, you mean Seton?
Yeah,
Oh, Seton. Yeah.
Seton, the
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Krosan
Yeah.
protector.
Yeah. That's the good one. Yeah. So what are we gonna name it?
Um, you know what? I should have probably thought of a name for this, shouldn't I have?
Yes.
Um, he's a uh, just put Spaceballs because I'm just thinking of a druid. She's a druish princess.
Okay.
So I do kind of want to keep it.
How do you spell his name?
Oh, it's Seton. Now, I did want to try and keep it relatively keep it like budgety, not like super budget, but like
We should start with
I'm
the
I'm not
druids.
picking up like Gaia's Cradle, you know.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. No shit. Um. We don't normally put Guy Shriddle and everything. It's just the one person didn't, care
Yeah,
for having it. Yeah.
yeah. Fortunately, a lot of the druids and stuff to pick up, and then, like I have a whole bunch of them from having them in the past, and a lot of really good cards are like relatively inexpensive, like Marwyn the Nurturer, because a lot of the druids are also elves, so like it's like an elf druid sub theme.
Mm-hmm.
Because like the Guiltleaf Archdruid, the one that steals all your lands, is still an elf, and like Elvish Archdruid is still technically an elf, and like the Elvish Mystic and Llanowar Elves are both druids. Uh, Circle of Dreams is an elf druid. Get that Beast Whisperer because he's also an elf druid. We'll do the Finhorn Elves and Arbor Elves. A Priest of Titania.
Is Boreal Druid in it?
Yeah, Boreal's an elf druid. Druid of Purification is now is a new druid we get to play with. It's not an elf druid though, so that's one of the few that aren't. Another cool druid I actually really like in this. Oh, Karametra's Acolyte is another druid. Not an elf, but like
It's really good though.
Realm Walker is really cool because it's a changeling, so it's every creature type, and then you could choose whatever. Augur of Autumn is another really cool, new cool human druid. That's one that lets you play off the top if you have Coven.
Mm-hmm.
Another one I picked up is Leaf Crown Visionary because I was going through a bunch of like bulk rare boxes, and like he's not as bulk, but like he gives elves +1/+1, and whenever you cast an elf spell, you get tap green and draw a card, which is really cool if you have a lot of like cheap like elves that they kind of generate mana on their own anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Um, oh, and also the new Kamal. I should probably get both Kamals, like the Fist of Krosa and whatever the other whatever the new one is. I forget what his name is.
Well, now that this one's budget.
Oh yeah, Heart of Krosa. That's what it is. And so so that's basically most of the stuff I had picked up. I guess I also have the I do own a Great Oak Guardian, and I could do the Great Oak Guardian shenanigans if with the Temur Sabertooth shenanigans.
Sounds good to me.
I also picked up a Defiler of Vigor because I think it's kind of cool that you could also like have a reduced cost to playing them, and then like also make your board go like wide and big. Oops.
You definitely want like Mana Reflection and Exclamation.
Yeah. Oh, Kindred Summons. I finally have a deck I could use it in. All right, so that's kind of where I'm at with stuff that I kind of pulled out of my collection that I own.
Definitely Mana Reflection and Exclamation, because the creatures are doing the tapping. I mean,
yeah. So that's another reason why I was thinking. Oh, I completely forgot Shamanic Revelations. Actually, hold on. Give me 1 sec. I just want to go pull the stuff that I pulled and see what we think about it. Okay. So we got that one. So like some random cards I was going through so I don't know how we feel about it, but it's actually maybe I don't like this one because it turns whenever a non-token creature you control dies, you may return to the battlefield face down as a forest. Soul the Harvest I want because just yeah, draw cards with green.
Probably want Guardian Project too.
Oh yeah, Guardian Project Shamanic Revelation. I found I had the fancy Golly Greeters in my collection because that's an elf druid, but I don't know how good it is.
Well, we probably need our druid count up.
Shigeki is a cool one because he could ramp or you could just discard him to be kind of like a like he's acts as like a druid version of Shamanic of Second Sunrise. Picked up a Jorga Tree Speaker, which is the one that levels up to make them elves tap for more. I also picked up a Sereth the Viper's Fang because we have a lot of elves and stuff that could tap for like a lot of mana, so it's a untapper. And also it's cool because it gives our stuff hexproof and also potentially with Death Touch making them really awkward to block if we want to go into swingy mode. But that's one of the things I cookie cat. I also put Gwenna Eyes of Gaia. So Gwenna. So if you play a bunch of big stuff, it could draw some cards. It does make 2 mana for creature spells. And so if you have any type of mana doubling shenanigans, it seems kind of cool. This one's more of an elf than a shaman, but Immaculate Magistrate. It puts a +1 counter on target creature for each elf you control. Just go for the big stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if we run what Mara, whatever her face is. I found this other nifty card in bulk. It was a Earthshaker Giant. It's a giant druid. It's basically an overrun as a druid. Yavimaya Elder is another druid. Farhaven Elf is another elf druid. It's the one that gets the land. Oh, we could run the Planeswalker Freylease, Lanoir's Fury, because she makes druid tokens. Oh, Gyre Sage is another one. Yeah, Lanoir's Fury. Yeah, there she is.
And then which
Gyre Sage, Gyre Sage. It's also an elf druid. I own a Benefactor's Draught, which is that thing that untaps all creatures you control and draws a card. It's also whenever a creature an opponent controls blocks, draw a card. I forgot I did that other part. Do we get the Primordial Sage as the other draw dude?
Do you want Zendikar Resurgent?
Yeah. Even though it doesn't really affect our creatures as much.
It's just for the draw, pretty much.
Yeah. But how do you feel about Rishkar? I mean, he already like makes things tap for mana. Everything taps for mana anyway.
Oh, the Pima Renegade?
Yeah. He's just a 2/2 that gets the buff something. Okay. We got Soul of the Harvest.
Mm-hmm. Probably Regal Force.
Yes, Regal. So that's ones I don't have currently. I definitely need to get. There's this other one I found in my bulk rares from Kaldheim, a Canopy Tactician. It's a 4 mana elf that gives other elves +1/+1, but he taps for 3 mana. It's not like crazy, and it's also not a druid. But
do you want to play Staff and Umbral Mantle to have as a combo if you draw any of the big tappers?
what was it you said?
You could play Staff of Domination, and for the creatures that tap for, you have like 5 creatures that tap for a lot of mana.
Oh, so we just do what you said with the
You could play Staff of Domination or Umbral Mantle.
Yeah, because the Umbral Mantle is one that makes right, because it untaps it to. What's it do to untap? I forget. Or is it just 2 mana to just untap it? Because I thought it actually had an effect.
It buffs too. It's also a win con.
Okay, yeah.
You could put it on everything.
And you just pass it to everything, and everything's huge.
Yep.
I have a Wirewood Symbiote.
Do you want to play those? Do you want to play Umbral and Staff?
Sure, I'll play Umbral and Staff's budget now.
They both are, yeah. Staff's cheaper than Umbral Mantle.
Yeah. I do own Wirewood Lodge, which is kind of nifty. Gets to untap a target elf. It's the land.
Oh yeah, the land, yeah. There is a aura that goes on a land that taps equal to the number of elves you have if you want to play that.
Oh, that's a cool one. I also have a Nylea, the keen-eyed. That's the new one that makes them cost less.
Elvish Guidance. Yeah, see?
Oh, okay.
And then what did you
Oh,
say?
you know what? What about growing rights of Itlamok?
Sure.
Because I do own one.
What do you want to be like a win con? Are you gonna play like, cause you have the Kodama and like staff combo is another thing.
Yeah, I guess like go wide, go big, or if we have a way to combo out.
Do you want to play a finale?
Yeah, yeah, because I think finale might be better than hoof, right?
Finale's 100 times better. Oh, somebody following. Mike is salty. Thanks
Oh,
for
hi,
following.
Mike is salty. Are you feeling salty?
Hello. Thanks for following. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. We're
Yeah,
doing druid stuff.
finale is 100 times better. And then there's also if you want to play the Zuri, which, but I mean you have Kodama, which is just like better, I think.
Because he gives it to all creatures, right? Not just
Yeah,
elves.
yeah. So
And the
your
other
win
one
con
also
can
buffs your
be, yeah, your win con can be, you have the Teamer Sabertooth plus
great oak.
well yeah yeah,
Mm.
and then you also have like
Yo,
finale. You
would
have
it be
Kamal.
worth to play a 1,000 year elixir to give them all haste activations? Because some of them
Ah,
elves do tap for a lot of mana, and like with our commander, they make like one green. But some of them do generically tap for more. So you think maybe having a chance to,
yes, and also the untap is nice.
yeah.
Very cool to see Commander deck building content on here. I am new to Magic the Gathering and definitely need help with this part. Oh well, yeah. I feel like we're like I've never seen another YouTube channel that does like the deck building process. In my personal, like I've never seen another channel that does it like that.
Yeah,
They
because we
will
get like, oh
go,
sorry, go on.
yeah, no, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Because I was saying I've always, yeah, same. I've always see people who like they show you their deck tech and they tell you about why the cards they pick are the cards they pick, but never like, well, why this card over this card, or why this card over this card, or if you're like, hey, we're doing a budget build, why are we using this budget option as compared to this budget option? And like we talk out like what we want the deck to do, and then we get to like kind of make our choices. And we tend to, when we build these, we go way over on the card limit, and then we start like weeding out like, okay, we don't want this, we don't want this probably isn't so good, and yeah, and then we come to a that's decision on like what cards we like and what cards we don't like, and try to keep it, we try to keep it in like a fair price range. Like some people will request like, hey, can you make us like no hold back budget, like go full on, and some people are like, hey, can you build a $50 budget? And so we've done both sides of it.
Mm-hmm. And deck building in the first part of Commander is tough. Like it is really tough. It is good to ask people for help. I mean, that's what I did a lot. So,
Yeah.
uh, okay.
Hey
So,
Tom, you know Sylvan Library is like already back up to $30.
seriously,
Yeah, like $27 already. It didn't last long, my dude.
yeah. Well, at least people got them a little
Yeah,
bit.
I'm
I
glad I
guess.
picked up mine and like, well, actually I opened mine. I didn't even pull mine.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we got growing rights. Do you want to play any more recursion? I threw a Bally get in. Do you want seasons past or like one of the witnesses?
Um, yeah, we definitely could. Oh, this is probably a heroic intervention deck too. We want to keep our things alive. And quarter calling is cool too because we go so wide. It'll probably be really easy to get something into play with that.
Oh yeah. Quarter Calling's always great.
Oh, Spring Bloom Druid. That's another Druid. ETBs. It's Harrow on a creature.
I've tried to find them. I've had a hard time starting this out. You guys are absolutely right. Yeah.
Hey, so if you have any deck that you really want to build, let us know and like we'll build it for you. You tell us what your budget is and like what maybe even if like if you have an idea of what you want the deck to do within the confines of like, hey, this is a reanimation commander, but I want it to be like a demon reanimation commander, or if you just want to go generic, like I just want this to, and build it. Yeah, we'll do it for you, and you could see our thought process. And they do tend to get a little bit long at times,
Mm-hmm. But I mean,
but
you
like,
know, that's what it is going through the process. You know.
mm-hmm.
I consider us pretty good at it because it usually ends up being about an hour, you know, which I mean is pretty good for building an entire deck from scratch. You
Mm-hmm.
know. Uh,
Oh, I forgot about Wirewood Channeler. It's another like taps for equal amount of elves you control.
yep. The more that work with staff, the better. Okay. Does Nyx Bloom work with the commander? I'll see what it.
No, I don't actually think it does. Because you're it's like kind of like you tap an untapped creature and it makes a green mana. You're not tapping for mana. I'm pretty sure.
I'm curious.
Because it's one of those things where like it's because his ability gets around summoning sickness because it's worded like how Azami is.
No, yeah, I know.
Wow, it came out in Odyssey. What an old card.
No rulings. Great.
Yeah, no. So it has to have the tap symbol because because what its cost is tap and untap druid you control. It's not the tap symbol as the cost, which is one of those weird wordings, the things where it's not the tap symbol. It's a different type because it gets around the summoning sickness. So anything that says when you tap X for mana, do this does not work.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think it's really good to run a lot of that other stuff just because so much of our like other creatures do tap for mana and it's still good with like lands and stuff.
Yeah, an Exclamation with a Circle of Dreams druid is crazy.
Yeah.
I don't even care about making for myself. I just like seeing other people go through their process and why they're doing a certain way. Like I want to look at Commander and be like, okay, now I know what I want to do here. Yeah, I get it.
Well, yeah, you just gotta really immerse yourself in it, really, and
There's a
I
lot of
do
other
reckon,
good YouTube channels that, you know, do it.
yeah, um, looking at some like maybe even like brawl stuff and historic brawl because it seems to be decently popular with some like YouTubers.
Mm-hmm.
It's Commander Light where it's nowhere near as intense because your card pool is a lot less.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, like a lot of what we play in Commander are a lot of the cards that you don't see.
Yeah. Yeah, Commander is a special format.
Yeah,
None
and
of the,
there's
none of the
so
other
much to
formats
it.
play like it. And I mean,
But
we've both been playing for like a decade, so like, you know, we have a pretty good handle on like, you know, what plays well or like, you know.
what are you talking about? I built the Tarrasque Commander deck. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, uh-huh. And it ended up playing really well.
Except at the tournament where I literally, Tom, I went to that tournament and I did the only ramp I drew every single game after like mulliging down to 6 almost every game was Ancient Tomb.
That's rough.
And I only put Ancient Tomb in there for the tournament because I don't normally run it. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, what is happening?
Mm-hmm.
I put extra ramp in here with like better ramp, which is like land base. And the deck's like, no, you're not going to get anything.
That's rough.
Like,
I think we should play Fierce Empath.
It's the Mr. Tutor Boy, right?
Yeah, it's the
Uh,
anything
yeah,
6
I
grenade.
like it.
And we have some really good shit. We have this. We have the Great
I also
Ogre
need help
again.
with certain interactions, of
Hopefully,
course,
Chris.
and fully understanding the stack that can get. Yeah, interact. So there's a lot of really weird rules to Magic the Gathering, and I dabble into it a little bit. I am still wrong because it does get really complicated. Um, knowing just the basics first, and then kind of learning off of that. It's always good to look stuff up and check if you're not sure, because there are people out there, and there's a lot of great websites that have people who will do the official rulings and even explain why the ruling is, and usually they link the rule in the rule book about why it does what. But like, you never need to sit down and memorize every rule in the rule book. You just kind of have to have the general idea of how things work. The most confusing things we'll get to when you get into like called like timestamps and like layers, but that comes up very very rarely and in really like weird interactions that don't usually come together. But
Yeah, some definitely get complicated.
hmm.
I started
I
out.
started out. Oh,
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
sorry, I started out in the game for like the collection aspect of it. I have a couple sets almost complete in binders and some expensive cards.
Yeah.
Do the whole collection, collect the whole set, do it. It's only like what, like 10,000, no, like 100,000 cards.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
It's crazy trying to collect things nowadays.
I do play over a spell table rarely. Used to more, but kind of got sick of a guy in my play group. Yeah, they're what was he like one of those people who played annoying decks, or was he more so like a power gamer? Like what was about him that you didn't really like? Oh,
Do you want to play Castle?
yeah, of course. Castle's so good. I love Castle. But you just gotta tell me why, Tom. Do we build them in the sky?
Stop.
I do have a Nykthos, which is nifty.
I was gonna ask about that.
Um,
Do you want to play a Nyx Lotus or do you want to just keep it to creatures?
well, I keep it to creatures because I also was potentially thinking. I know we don't run a ton of enchantments and artifacts. That like a Bane of Progress could be cool, but maybe we don't need it. Maybe we're just gonna not worry about that and just go big. Um,
Do you have a Yavimaya?
I don't know if I have an extra one, but like we could still run it. It's probably still worth it. We play War Room.
You know that there's like you could like play like a Shia Loops and stuff. There is that fun stuff. Oh, you want to play War Room? You said.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, lose a life. It's cool. We'll make a lot of mana. I just feel like this might be a deck that poops out its hand really quickly, and we might need ways, like extra ways to draw a card.
He was salty 24/7 even when he was winning. He was super awkward. Yeah, that it's just a bad play group then.
Yeah, or at least that individual, that one dude.
Yeah. We've definitely had some people that we've had to kick out of our play group for sure. It takes a while
Jeez.
to find a play group that you're comfortable with. And even sometimes our play group like plays on the powerful side of things and sometimes you can't really enjoy like the low end, but you know, it
All right. Well,
happens.
oh, we got a lurker now. You used to say you should be skulking. Keep it in the magic theme. Welcome to my bad jokes. Okay, I won't feel bad if you unsubscribe and block us now.
Beast of Then, Song of the Dryads.
Or Kenrith transformation.
Also,
I also forgot there's a devoted druid, which is the one that puts a counter on it to untap it. That could be kind of interesting randomly because if you have anything that makes it really big, you could just keep putting neg1 counters on it.
okay. All right.
How do you feel about Sylvan Anthem? It gives green creatures eye control +1/+1, and then whenever a green creature enters, you scry one.
think it's bad.
Oh, so what about Rona's Monument? It's a thing that makes green creatures cost 1 less, and it gives a creature +2/+2 and trample. If we could like cycle like 50 creatures in a turn, that could also be potentially really powerful.
Sounds good to me.
Shut up. No, bless you. um. There's so many different ways you could build this, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's a 1-drop that untaps all creatures you control called Vitalize.
There's actually quite a bit of them.
Elvish Pioneer. Did we get that one? I forgot if we hit that one. That's the one that puts a land into play. Well, basic land. Druid Lyrist. It's just a druid that sacks to destroy a target enchantment. It's an enchantment, only an enchantment though. It just seems okay. But enchantments can be real strong. There's also the Llanowar Visionary, which enters and draws a card.
Mm-hmm.
Looking through a bunch of druids. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's good, more than good. And we got Freylease. I like. Probably still should just run a 1 of Soul Ring just because it's still that good.
I got it.
Well, how dare you outthink me?
I got Thought Vessel.
Is there any other cool utility lands we could run? Like, you think maybe it's worth just running the cycling lands because we really don't need to draw a lot of lands once we're kind of going. So like maybe you're just running just the 1 of Tranquil Thicket just to cycle.
Okay. Doesn't sound bad.
Yo, Gaia's Cradle's down to $969. 69, nice. All right, well if let's throw the rest of our lands in and see where we fall. Or you already did it?
Yeah.
Look at this guy. He's like so good. Like I can't even. This guy's on his game.
We're 7 over.
Okay, that's not too bad.
We have 45 creatures.
Maybe you want to
cut down on the worst mana tappers, or like the cards that we consider.
Gala Greeters is just okay for me.
Where's he again?
Yeah, that's one that like it does like counter treasure or 2 life, but you can only pick one that wasn't chosen this turn. So at most, yeah, he's yeah. Gwenna, Eyes of whatever the 3-drop there, making 2 mana is nifty, but I also don't know if I super care as much because we don't have too many big drops. We do have a few, but like once it's untapped, it's I don't think we're gonna be struggling with mana. And it has to be power 5 or greater. So if it's like a high cost card with like 4 or less, it's like eh. I think Rishkar is the other one I'm also just kind of okay with. He's going to put counters on creatures that already tap for mana, and like putting the counters don't make him just that big, honestly. Timeless Witness? That's not a druid. Get that trash out of it. No, I'm kidding.
If there was a druid version, I would play it.
And also maybe Yavimaya Elder just seems eh. because he only draws a card, and then he gets to put lands, but it goes into your hand and not into play.
Mhm. Man, so many creatures.
Good.
Still got 41 creatures. Anything else here?
Uh, maybe the 4-drop that gives elves +1/+1 and taps for 3 is just like, eh.
It's also not a druid.
Yeah. Get with the club, bruh.
Mhm. Anything here?
No, I think all this stays. Unless maybe the far hate, maybe the land ramp one, because like, do we really need any form of like? I mean, I guess it's still good just to get one.
Mhm.
I like all this stuff. Yeah. Maybe Sereth is just okay. I think we have like big global untaps. So like, she's cute, but like, yeah. I don't like the rest of this stuff. Yeah.
One card.
So let's see what else we have. Let's scroll down a little. You know what? I want to keep every other creature we have here. I want to keep high creature count.
I want to look at her curve. Hold on.
It's so low.
So then, what do you want to cut next?
Actually, you know what? Maybe it's the tree speaker, the one that the upgrades to make elves, because we do have some creatures that aren't elves that are like druid humans. So like, it's cool and it helps some of them.
No, I think we keep. I think we keep the tree speaker.
You think?
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
I think we keep him. He's good with a lot of the combos. He like helps enable them.
I guess also if our commander dies, like it gives our other creatures like they just generate a little bit more mana.
Mhm.
And I guess if he gets in play, it gets to a cool point where like we'll be making more mana than we did if we had our commander anyway, because they have a chance to tap for more.
I'd rather cut the one that just puts a land into play.
The one reason I actually really like him is if you have him turn 1, that lets you play a turn 2 commander.
Mhm.
But I guess a lot of them do that as is.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Looks like the stream hasn't cut out yet.
Yeah, because I think I still have it up. Yeah.
Jesus.